Good afternoon. So our story is a tier one uranium development company. Really, I think begins at the jurisdiction level. We're located in the Athabasca Basin in Canada's northern Saskatchewan. The jurisdiction is world famous for hosting a number of high-grade deposits. It's an extremely important supplier of uranium to the world. And our project is also large, it's high-grade, and located in the basin. This is a map showing what the Athabasca Basin looks like. Just for a little bit of context for you, the last 70 years or so of mining, uranium mining in the province have been focused on the eastern side. We're located in the western side. We made our discovery, the Triple R deposit, back 10 years ago now, in the fall of 2012. We have recently completed a feasibility study, so we've been, continuing moving ourselves down the chain. This will be an eventual producing asset, but I think what's also key, the whole district, the whole western side of the basin is really starting to mature, and we're seeing a number of world-class assets in this region. And I think it's a pretty safe overall comment to say that the western side of the basin will be where the next generation of uranium mines in Canada come from, and our project is sitting right in the heart, right in the middle of all the action. So with our feasibility study completed, these are just some of the numbers that we saw. The news came out about 2 weeks ago on it. This is our last economic study that we'll do before moving forward with for construction and building. But basically what we've seen here is we have a mine life of 10 years. We're looking at a construction period roughly 3 years once we get started, and producing approximately 9 million pounds of uranium a year, so a significant contributor to the global consumption worldwide. The economics look fantastic. We're looking at an IRR of around 27% after tax, and impressively an NPV with an 8% discount rate of $1.2 billion and that's in Canadian dollars, by the way. As far as the timelines from where we're at right now until construction, we started the advanced permitting phase in December of 2021. That was called the environmental assessment phase. We have just recently completed our feasibility study, as I mentioned. We're continuing to ramp up the permitting and regulatory work. And really important to moving projects forward is the agreements that we have in place with every indigenous group that we're required to work in the area. Groups that have already established traditional rights in the area. So we have agreements now in place with every single group, so that's going to go an awful long way as we move forward through the permitting to get approval on the project. 2023 will be an extremely major year for us. We will enter formally into the environmental impact assessment phase. We begin that process in Q3 of this year. That is expected to take between 24 to 36 months for that full review, which includes all community input. Everybody could look at the project, provide feedback for us to go back and forth with it, and exiting the EIA phase would be the stage that we would actually receive permits to start construction, build, and know that we're on our way to a pathway to be a producing asset. So beginning construction on the project sometime in 2025 or 2026, 3 years to construction. So looking at being a producer by 28 or 29. On the capital structure side of the company, we're currently looking at around a market cap of around $650 million roughly Canadian. We have a very healthy treasury. We have over $40 million in the treasury right now. That is sufficient to take us from through 2023 and probably most of 2024. Our capital needs over the next 2 to 3 years are going to be roughly $70 to $75 million. So I think we've already got a good chunk of that change already in place. Plus, we do have an ATM facility which we'll continue to draw on that allows us another, $40 million or so. So I think we're pretty comfortable with where we're at. As I said, the work is really to get us to the next stage, successfully navigating through the permitting and regulatory phase to get this amazing world-class asset into production. Ownership in the company, we're, I think, fairly balanced with somewhere between 40-45% retail ownership. Similar numbers on the institutional side, and we have a partnership, I guess a strategic partnership with the Chinese utility CGN, China General Nuclear, that owns around a 14% equity stake in the company, and they also have an offtake agreement for up to 20% of our production. So they've been long-term supporters of the project, and I think will continue to be so. You see there's it continues to be extensive research covering this company. We have analysts in London, in Canada, in New York. So I think we're pretty well covered, and it is really a premier uranium development story. So I encourage you to you come by the, hopefully, I guess our booth is pretty full over the next 2 days, but we'll certainly be around and happy to talk to everybody and update you further on a project. So thank you very much.